Well, anybody that follows my commentary, whether it's on a podcast, the radio shows, or here on Ravens.com, knows the value I put on the ability to win on the road. And when you're talking about the last minute to lose your starting quarterback, and the way that Tyler Huntley and the Ravens responded was very, very impressive. Huntley's just the fourth quarterback over the last 30 years to record a game-winning drive within the final 2 minutes in his first career start. So let's look at a couple of the particular big plays. We're going to start on the defensive side. And obviously, defense had to step up big. We always talk about the defense's ability to hold the edge. Here you see the whole right side of the defense holding the edge of the offensive formation of the Chicago Bears. And that forces the running back to hesitate. Queen starts to flow over the top, but then he sees that hesitation, sees that the defense has the edge, fills in behind, and gets a big play on the run. Next play, it's all about, obviously, pressure on the quarterback. And last week, we talked about the presence of Calais Campbell. On this play, you can see that Campbell draws up two protectors, the offensive center and the left guard. That creates one-on-one matches across the board, and everybody wins. Bowser and Houston on the outside kind of meet at the quarterback because of the one-on-one matchups, collapse on the outside edge, and force the fumble by Fields. And this next one is a patented Ravens Wink Martindale special. You're going to see 7 potential rush guys on the line of scrimmage. So now the Bears don't know who's coming, who's not. The last minute, Clark and Board and Bowser drop out, so it ends up being a 4-man rush. Bowser waits for the 4-man rush to gobble up the protection. The protection defines itself, and then he late blitzes. Great coverage on the back end because this is a late developing blitz that takes a while to get there. So well coordinated, excellent execution by the front 7 and by the back end. On the offensive side, obviously, and particularly in the last drive, but there were some creative things that Greg Roman did with the offense, obviously to help Huntley in his first start. This first play, you can see, remember the pressure problems we had last week and getting pressure on the quarterback? He do a nice job of rolling Huntley to the right side. That allows the guard pulls out, gives you a chance to move the pocket. Andrew kind of sneaks out of the formation, leaks out across, kind of opposite from the roll itself, and settles down into a huge hole. You can see the way the defense has to respond to this rolling pocket, and Huntley sees a wide open Andrews for a big game. Next, and this was huge, this was a 4th and 1. And this is a quarterback counter, a la a Cam Newton. You see it all the time. It was a great job. Watch the play side guard, tackle, and tight end. Tony collapsed the defense down. Then Ricard and then Zeitler pulling from the backside, just a quarterback power play. Huntley shows good patience, waiting for this to develop. They collapse it down. Ricard leads up. Zeitler falls around through, and it's a huge gain of 8 yards on a 4th and 1. And now let's look at 2 plays from the game-winning drive. This was kind of interesting. You're going to see 2 things here. Combination of great protection and a well-designed route. It's a bunch route. You can see on the right side. Andrews and Watkins, I should say, get out and kind of run deep ends. Duvernay runs like almost a flat. It's going to be kind of like a wheel route. He gets up the sideline, and it puts the corner in a dilemma because now he has to fall out because the running back has leaked out in behind the bunch into the flat. So it's a well-designed route. This takes a long time to develop. So you can see the offensive line does a good job of holding off the rush of the Chicago Bears, who do a good job putting pressure on the quarterback so he can complete this late developing wheel route on the outside to Duvernay. And then this last one, this was obviously a huge play on 3rd and 12. They motion into the bunch. We just saw the bunch formation on the previous play. So they motion down into the bunch, and the Bears, they want to bring a 6-man pressure. That means they're man for man on the backside. Well, they mess it up. They somehow, the motion or the bunch confuse them. They leave Watkins totally uncovered. As he is the tip of the bunch, he gets to the outside. Huntley does a good job of waiting it out. He sees the drop man coverage, so he's just got to buy a little bit of time, getting away from the rush and getting the big play down the field that obviously sets up the game-winning score. Now that we're in the heart of the playoff run, this is getting very interesting in the AFC North. The Browns are coming to Baltimore, obviously, in a huge game. Both these teams are vying and very much capable of winning the division, also with an eye on being part of the wild card picture. And Cincinnati is hosting the Steelers. They also are a little bit outside of the division, but looking at that wild card spot as well. Interestingly, the Ravens and the Browns will face each other 2 out of the next 3 weeks.